Mariah, you can let me know when we're good to go. Okay, it looks like our session is now being streamed. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the first Capital Bank FinTech Pitch Day info session. We've received quite a number of questions about the program, questions about how to apply, questions about, is my business eligible? So this particular session is aimed at ensuring that you are provided with sufficient information about the program, about the partners of the program, and how to go about the application process to ensure that you're considered to pitch your business in front of a panel of First Capital Bank executives that would then be deciding who exactly would they invest in, would they make any investment, would they partner with anybody. So we are excited to have you join this session, and we hope that by the end of this session, all the questions that you had around the program and the application process would have been answered. My name is Mulama Kusema, and I will be your moderator for today's session. I am the Entrepreneurship Associate here at Bongo Hive, and I will be glad to answer and address any unsure aspects of the application that maybe you need clarity on. So I look forward to interacting with you, and I look forward to providing you with the information that you will require to provide a quality application. Allow me to simply just run us through what to expect during the session this afternoon. So we have a 1 hour session, and during the session, we will hear from First Capital Bank on why exactly they decided to have this great initiative for fintech startups and fintech adjacent startups. We will then get to also talk about the program itself, what are the phases of the program, what's the eligibility criteria. We will also then get to walk you through how to navigate the application platform. It's a very, very easy to navigate platform, but in case you had any challenges navigating the platform, we'll also talk you through that. And then in case maybe there aren't questions that we would have addressed by this presentation, we will open it up for any questions and answers. So you are welcome to type your questions in the chat. If any question pops up while we're making the presentation, feel free to type that in the chat. And we will also allow you to raise your hand during the Q&A segment. And then we'll also re-echo next steps after this session, and our session will come to a close at exactly 15:30. With that said, allow me to hand over to one of the key partners of this program, of this pitch event, First Capital Bank Group Head of Strategy, Sean, who will give us a few remarks even as we kickstart the session. Over to you, Sean.
Thanks very, very much, Mulama. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great, great. Okay, well, thanks everyone for joining. I can see a lot of you have it, which is great. And I'm really glad that we could get this project moving. So as Mulama said, my name is Sean Anadkat. I'm an executive director and I act as group head of strategy for First Capital Bank. And I'm particularly this project, and I've been driving this project because before I joined the bank side of things, I was sitting probably where a lot of you are. I founded a payments company in London in 2022, and I remember specifically the friction of trying to scale without a solid banking partner. It's really tough to build and to move volume when you're on your own. And having a bank on site was probably the single biggest turning point of the business, not just for the license, but also for the stability and also for the reputation. And look, as many of you guys know, people often talk about innovation as if it's just a piece of code, but in fintech, the most important thing is the infrastructure and everything around the code. That's what determines the success. And at FCB, we're hoping that we can provide at least some of the rails to help at least some of you succeed. And we think as a bank, we can do a lot to help sort of emerging fintechs, right? We can provide, custodian accounts to secure your client funds. We can sponsor your bins. You can issue your own branded cards. You can leverage our KYC and compliance framework, so you don't have to build them all from scratch. This is stuff that ordinarily takes a really long time. And we'd be more than happy to share all of these things with you. And on a more personal level, we have a lot of very talented and experienced people within our organization who would be delighted to provide advice and share experiences and mentor you guys if you want. But also, if everything I've just said you want to ignore and you don't think you need any help from us, but you just need the money, that's okay as well. So you don't have to need something from us to pitch. So yeah, this has been covered already, I think, in some of the documentation and the advertising. The sort of our mantra is we want to customize every relationship that we have with every potential partner. And so whilst 20K to 50K is sort of the advertised number, we're not that prescriptive. We can be flexible if that's too much, if that's too little, if you don't want to give up much equity. So you don't be thrown off if you don't fit perfectly within that range. Like I say, everything will be decided on a project by project basis. And on the pitch day, I'll be joined by quite a few of my colleagues. I think our group head of retail and products is flying into Zambia. Our group head of transformation is flying into Zambia, and then we'll be joined by a number of our local colleagues. Our CEO will be there as well. So that will be pretty exciting. You get to meet a lot of them. They'll offer various perspectives on your companies. Hopefully there'll be a bit of mingling time as well. So that'll be really nice. Look, I much longer just finish up. I think I haven't been in Zambia long. What I've seen on the ground is really impressive. And we, as an organization, definitely want to be a part of that momentum. And with that sort of in mind, I just want to give a shout out to Malema and Bongo Hive, who have been completely professional so far and who look like they're really leading from the front in identifying and nurturing promising companies. And I think that's really, really important that you have that sort of VC infrastructure in place, which they seem to have. And just to close, I don't want this to be a sort of one-off pitch day. I hope that we can make this a regular occurrence and sort of bridge the sort of tech community and the banking community, specifically, we see FCB. So let me not say any more then, let me hand over back to you, and I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have.
All right. Thank you so much, Sean. And thank you for the work that First Capital Bank is doing to contribute to the startup ecosystem here in Zambia. And we're glad to hear that this is the first in many features that will be hosted by First Capital Bank in collaboration with Bongo Hive. With that said, I will get into the peak of things. So for those of you wondering what the program is about and how you could be part of this great initiative, this is the part where I'll get to walk you through all those aspects. So as mentioned by Sean, this is an initiative by First Capital Bank, and this is in partnership with Bongo Hive. So Bongo Hive is the one implementing the program, but then First Capital Bank are the key drivers behind the program, providing the equity funding, providing those partnership opportunities, and they'll be the ones that you'll be pitching in front of in the first week of March. So it will be a very, very great session, and you will also get feedback while you're pitching. So if there's any feedback that you think would be valuable towards your business based on what you will hear from the team, that will be something that you also get to experience through this initiative. Benefits of participating in the program. If selected, so we're selecting 10 startups at the end of recruitment and selection. So if you are selected, you have an opportunity to pitch in front of First Capital Bank. And what that means is that you might get access to strategic collaborations with the bank. You explore their infrastructure. You could even co-create any back-end solutions through this great initiative. There's also an equity investment that comes with it. So successful startups might be considered for an equity investment between 20,000 and 50,000 US dollars upon thorough due diligence, of course. And Sean also mentioned that there will be a case-by-case basis. So in case maybe your business is looking for slightly more and maybe you provide a compelling case for the First Capital Bank team, they might consider that as well. But at the moment, this is the ticket size that we are looking at. You will also get to interact directly with the executive of First Capital Bank, as highlighted by Sean. So key decision makers will be in the room. So put your best foot forward once selected and ensure that you either get a partnership with the equity fund at the end of it all. You will also get access to Bongo Hive's consultancy services. So we'll provide you with pitch preparation, and that looks like an online session walking you through the aspects of your pitch deck that should be refined and what should be contained even as you pitch in front of the audience. And then you will also have an opportunity for us to further refine your presentation and ensure that you have a compelling pitch and that you communicate your business to the best of your abilities. So that will also be provided to you prior to the pitch day that will be scheduled for March. Eligibility criteria. So you've heard about what the program is about. You're curious, you're interested, you'd like to partner with First Capital Bank. The next question is, do you qualify? Do you fit the criteria that they're looking for, like in terms of the startups that they would like to have on the program? So the first thing is that your startup must be post-MVP. So we're not looking for idea stage startups. Maybe you have an idea that you haven't yet brought to life. This particular event isn't for you. So this one is meant for startups that already have validated solutions, that already have traction and are already earning revenue in the market. So if you fit that criteria, then you do qualify. So that's one. The next is sector focus. We're very big on fintech. So is your solution within that sector focus? Is it that you're in payments? Are you in lending? Are you in insurtech? Are you in wealthtech? Is it digital banking that you're offering, or are you providing a financial infrastructure? We're also considering fintech adjacent startups. So it could be that you're not necessarily directly within the financial sector, but you are providing support to the financial sector, then you do qualify to also apply for the program. Compliance is also something that's very big, so you need to be very compliant. Do you have all the required licenses for your business to operate within that space? Are you registered with PACRA? And upon successful selection for consideration for the equity investment, are you willing to then go through the thorough due diligence that comes with you being selected to get that equity investment? And also, you must be seeking an equity investment, as mentioned. This isn't a grant, so this is an equity investment. So you must be willing to share that stake within your business with First Capital Bank. And your valuation must also have a positive return on the people that are investing in you. So your valuation must also make sense based on the ticket size that's being offered for this particular pitch event. So if you meet all these key areas that have been highlighted, then I strongly encourage you to apply for this great opportunity with First Capital Bank. Speaking of timelines, so the call for applications opened on the 26th of January and will run up until the 11th of February. So ensure that you submit a timely application so that you don't miss out on being considered for this. And right after that, we will then have a session on pitch refinement. So you have a session on the art of pitching, just to show you what investors look for, what should be contained in your pitch deck. And then we'll also get to review your pitch deck prior to the pitch session, help you make the tweaks that need to be made. And then right after that, in the first week of March and the 3rd of March, we'll have an in-person pitch event here at Bongo Hive, where you'll get to present in front of a panel of First Capital Bank executives. Okay, so now that you know what we're looking for, now that you know the timelines, it's also worth mentioning that ensure that you are willing, first of all, to participate in the different sessions that come with you applying for this program, because you want to ensure that you're well prepared even before you pitch in front of the team, and also ensure that you thoroughly read the terms and conditions of applying to the program so that we're all on the same page. And then once you are clear on that, proceed to submitting your application. So at this point, I will hand over to my colleague, Aubrey, who will run us through the application platform. For those of you that maybe have struggled navigating the platform, he will talk us through how best to navigate that. So Aubrey, whenever you're ready, I can stop sharing my screen and then you can take over.
All right. Thank you, Mwema. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. My name is Obli Zulu. I lead the tech team at Bongo Hive. So I'll just walk you through the platform. So it's pretty much a straightforward platform to use. So let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
I can see your screen, but not the platform yet.
All right, give me a moment. Okay, can you see the platform?
Yes, now I can see it.
All right, great. So like I said, this is a straightforward platform. So I'll start from the beginning. So this is the URL. So the platform is called IdeaSpring, the one we're using to manage this program. So once you run on the landing page, you see the landing page. You can scroll through just to, if you want to get more information or understand what the platform is about. From there, you can click on login. So once you click on login, you come to this screen. So here you can, if you have an account, you can click on login. If you don't have an account, you need to click on create individual account. So this platform allows businesses and individuals to create accounts. So for this program, you are creating an account as an individual. So I already have an account, so I won't go through this process, but I'll talk about it. Just give me a moment. So for now, the flow will be signing in. So I'll use my existing credentials to sign in. Okay, so once you sign in, you go to a page that will show all the programs that are running on this platform. So we have a couple of programs that we are running. So the first program we are running is the First Capital Bank. The first program on the list you'll see is the First Capital Bank pitch. So this is the program you need to apply to. So once you see it, you click on view details. So it will take you to the overview of the program. So if you're on social media, there's a link that we have put out there. So once you click that link, it will take you to this overview page. So once you open the overview page, you will see we have a few things about the program, and then why join the program, as Muremo was explaining, the benefits and other things that you get to, benefit was going through this program. So once you understand the program structure and once you read through the eligibility criteria, so on my end, I have an account. So I'll just click on start application. So once I click on start application, the application form will open. So it will also warn you or give you the numbers of days remaining before the actual deadline. So this is a lengthy application form. So you are advised to use a laptop. So I think a few people have come in with challenges because they're using a mobile app. So there are a few files that you have to upload. So best advice to use a laptop so that you can navigate through the platform easily and just answer all the questions or fill in all the questions for this program. So if you see, we have a lot of questions here that, with different sections that you need to fill in. So once you are done filling in this application form, so if you look at this, it's a lengthy one. So attachments, you have got pitch deck, PACRA, and then monthly financial forecast and other sections that require upload. So take your time, fill in the application form. So once you're done filling in the application form, you need to agree to the terms and condition, and then your commitment here, and then you can submit the application form. So I won't be filling in the application form. So if you see, it's quite lengthy and you take a lot of time. So that's how you navigate the platform as a user who has an account. If you don't have an account, I'll just click on sign out. Okay, so if you don't have an account, you need to create an account. So you can click on create individual account. Since you're applying as an individual user, then you need to fill in your details. So let me just go ahead and fill in my details. Just create another email since I have a lot of emails here. So my email, okay, and the password. Okay, so once you click on create account, you receive an email. So once you see that email, you need to click that email so that you can activate your account. So once you activate your account, you get into the platform and apply for the program. So if you're on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, you will see a link. So once you click on that link, it will take you to the program overview, like I showed earlier, and then from there you can either click sign in, and then the sign in process is straightforward, or you could just click on create account. Then once you receive the email, it will redirect you to activate your account. So once you activate your account, then you should be able to apply for the program. Yeah, I think that's all from my end. I can't show the other part because the email has gone to my emails. So yeah, I can't show that other part, but it should be straightforward. Yeah. I'll hand over to you, Mulemwa. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Aubrey. Let me just reshare my screen. Okay, thank you for thoroughly running us through how to navigate the application platform. For those of you that were not sure on how to start your application, now you are equipped with how to go about that. So you could find our link on the different flyers that have been put on our social media platforms. At the end of this call, we'll also share the application form, the link to the application form. So you could click on that link, read about the program some more if you want to, read the terms and conditions, and then proceed to apply through the application button that you will see on your right-hand side as Aubrey showed us. And then once you're done with the application and once you submit all your required documents, your PACRA documents, your pitch deck, your financial forecast, you can then proceed to agreeing to the terms and conditions, as well as agreeing to the commitment that's required for you between now and pitch day, if selected to be among the top 10. And then that will be the end of you applying. So I hope that's clear, and I hope for those of you that were wondering, that's sufficient information to help you then proceed. So at this stage, we have talked about the program, we've talked about who we're looking for, we've talked about how to apply. In case there's anybody with a question that may not have been addressed, or any other clarification that you may require from Bongo Hive and from First Capital Bank, now is your time to ask. So you could either raise your hand or you could type your question in the comment section. So Mariah, you could also let us know if we receive any questions from Facebook or from YouTube that we could also address on this call. So I can see we have a question in the chat from David. So from David, David says, how strict is the bank on the stage and traction? We have an MVP, but our testing is closed from the public due to regulation. So Sean, there's a question for you here. How strict are you with the traction and the stage from David?
Hey, David. I think your case sounds a little bit unique. It sounds like you've been prevented from testing because of the regulation. So, that sounds a bit different, but I think the rule of thumb would basically be like we want to see some sort of customer base or user base. We'd like the company to be generating revenue. We're not sort of a VC, and so a company that's sort of pre-seed or pre-revenue. I think, I don't think we're necessarily the right partners for. We'd prefer somebody who's slightly further ahead in their journey. But like I say, there's obviously going to be exceptions to that rule. But that's roughly where we're coming from. I hope that answers it.
Thank you, Sean. So David, I hope that answers your question. For this particular pitch event, we're very keen on having startups that have passed the idea validation stage and are looking to scale, because the equity that you'll be raising here is meant to help you scale. And as mentioned, we want to see that you've actually already validated that and have already gained the necessary traction. We have another question from Patrick. So can a student who is not registered with PACRA apply as well? So as stated in the criteria, you must be compliant. So PACRA is one of those compliant documents that are required. So ensure that you are registered with PACRA even as you submit your application. And then there's a question from Panfret. So he's asking, is it a must that this partnership is tied to equity? So as stated, in terms of the financing that's been provided, it's strictly equity-based. So we're not providing any grants, we're not providing any loans, but Sean will also speak more on that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Obviously, we're a bank, so we do provide loans, but I think we tend to provide loans to more mature companies. And loans generally are not very good for startups. So I don't think we'll be providing any loans. And then yes, for the capital we provide, it would be in exchange for equity. I think that's very important. We both have to have skin in the game. I think that if we provided a grant, we'd be less invested in helping you guys down the line and spending time and effort. So I think it's sort of a two-way street. So yeah, I think the capital provided will be equity financing for a stake in the company.
Okay, thank you for that, Sean. We have another question from James. So James is asking, how much equity is it in exchange for the funding that will be provided? So that varies. That will vary based on your company's valuation and based on the conversation that you'll be having with the First Capital Bank team. So how much equity are you willing to give away in exchange for the money that you're asking for? Are some of the questions that you're going to be asked during your pitch session. To answer your question, so there isn't a specific amount or percentage, but it's subject to your valuation and how much you're willing to give, how much of what you have you're willing to give away to the First Capital Bank team. We have another question on Facebook. So Mary is asking, is this program open to creatives as well? So as mentioned, this is a pitch event for startups within the fintech space or fintech adjacent space. Yeah, so those are the sectors that we're looking at the moment. And then there's a question from Omar, when is Bongo Hive and Partners going to have another program like this? I'm a student who's not eligible at the moment. Okay, so Omar, as earlier mentioned by Sean in his opening remarks, he mentioned that this is one in many pitch events that they'll be having in collaboration with Bongo Hive. So do look out for the next one as well once we roll out the first one, which is this one. I can see we have some people that have their hands raised. Yotam, please
Good
go ahead.
afternoon. Can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, we currently have microfinance software that can be deployed as software as a service, SAS. And it's already past the development stage, and we're running POCs with a lot of local microfins. Now, there's a section on the application that bars saying you want something that is revenue generation. Where do we sit, those of us that are still trying to reach out? Thank you.
Should I go? So can I just clarify? You've partnered with local microfinance firms, or you're still looking to partner with them?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you? Okay. So what we've done is we've developed software, loan management software, and we haven't partnered with local microfinances. We are selling it to them as software as a service. So we have microfinance software that we are selling to microfinance, and it's out there as software as a service. So do we also stand a chance? We haven't yet started generating revenue. Most of the microfinances that are testing it are still running POCs, proof of concepts.
I think in your example, probably. I mean, I guess you're not you don't generate revenue, but it sounds like you have a working product that's in the market. So I'd say you're probably an exception in terms of the way you describe your business.
Okay, so then the challenge that we had was on the application, because on the application, it seems there is a must that we have to declare what we are currently making. Now, we haven't yet started getting the revenue because most of the customers are still running POCs.
Okay, you could justify that within your application, but as mentioned, it will be on a case-by-case basis, but we are heavily focused on ensuring that the startups that make it through the program have traction and have already had that proof of concept. But you could indicate that in your application, even as you explain what your business is all about and what you do, and then that will be subject to review.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We also have another hand from Pamfred. Please go ahead, Pamfred.
Yes, thank you very much. So first I'll start with a follow-up on the equity. What I needed to know was, is it a must that a company may need up to give equity, maybe give up some shares in order to get some support, or maybe if a startup that is just looking for infrastructure, not really support, does also qualify? I think that's the clarification. Like, let's say it's just maybe the focus is just on the banking infrastructure. Like in our case, we recently moved post-validation with our solution. We've signed 2 commercial contracts with microfinance institutions in Zambia. Like the previous speaker, we are also in a stage where, despite having signed these two commercial contracts, of course, the business model looks at is more of commission based at the moment. So we haven't like really generated any revenue directly, but the contracts are there based on performance and meeting the requirements that will trigger the revenue. So one, I wanted just to find out that those participating, is there room that startups can also participate just to seek probably collaborating for banking infrastructure, not necessarily looking for equity? But I think the other question I had, I think your response to the previous speaker might as well address, I think, our concern that we had, like the fact that we have, of course, two commercial contracts with two microfinance institutions, but we haven't yet generated any revenue. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your question, Pavid. I think that, you know, this is more of a pitch day for equity investment. I don't think this is sort of meant to be for opening sort of banking services or banking infrastructure to the broader public. I think, you know, we have to be very selective with not just from the regulatory perspective, time and effort that we, or people that we partner with, but also in terms of bandwidth. Our technology team can only sort of do so much at any given time. So I think for the purposes of this, I think it's going to be more focused on writing equity tickets to partners versus sort of just opening up banking infrastructure.
All right. Thank you, Sean, for that. Mariah, let me know if we have any other questions from our audience on the different social media platforms. So someone is asking about the equity investment. So as mentioned, this is equity within the ticket range of 20,000 and 50,000 US dollars. So there isn't a fixed amount, but it will be within that range. Any other questions, even as we conclude?
There's a question in the chat, Mulemwa, from KB Zumani.
Okay, so
yeah.
Okay, so there's a question about the number of finalists and how many will be selected for the investment funding. Sean, would you like to take that up?
Yeah, sure. It could be all 10. It could be none. It's completely sort of dependent on companies. We don't want to be restricted at all and say it's going to be 3, but also we don't want to promise and say it's going to be, you know, 5. It'll have to be on a company by company basis.
Okay, thank you for that. So if all the 10 that are selected are brilliant, you might all get the equity investment. But if not, nobody might get the equity investment. So it's not a fixed number of startups that will get the investment, but it will be based on who will pitch and whether or not what they pitch is aligned with what the bank is looking for. Any final questions as we wrap up? Okay, I see we have a few more hands. Please go ahead, Elena. Elena, you can go ahead.
Yes, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. Unfortunately, I joined quite late. So my question was about, are you also considering those that are into renewable energy sector, or is just those who are doing fintech?
Thanks, Alina. Alina, I think at this stage it's just going to be fintech, because it's sort of a bank investing, and we are only allowed by the regulators to focus our efforts in certain sectors. So I don't think that we'd even be allowed to invest in something like renewables.
Okay.
Sean, we have another question for you in the chat. So somebody is asking if this is only restricted to local startups, or maybe are also open to startups outside of Zambia.
Well, I think for the purposes of at least this round, I mean, like we've got operations in multiple countries, and we plan to expand this across the region. But I think for this round, it's a Zambian project. So I think it will just be Zambian companies this time, yeah.
Right, thank you. Elena, please mute your mic. We have another question from Aaron. Aaron is asking if there are any programs in different fields besides fintech. So Aaron, please stay glued to Bongo Hive's social media platforms. We do post different programs across different sectors, but for this particular program, this one is focused on fintech startups and fintech adjacent startups. But for any other programs outside of this sector, you could stay glued to the Bongo Hive platforms, and you'll be sure to see a program that suits the sector that you're currently in. Okay, looks like we've exhausted all the questions and we don't have any more hands that have been raised. So I'm glad that all your questions have been answered and that we've provided you with sufficient information to submit your final application, even as we approach the end of the program, the end of the application window. So this marks the end of our session and our presentation. We hope to receive your applications. We hope to receive your completed applications with all the required documents or the compliant documents that are required, even as you submit that application, and stay glued to your emails. So once we are done with the recruitment and selection, we'll review and select the top 10. Who will then be notified on the pitch practice sessions, as well as when and what time to attend the pitch event that's scheduled for the 3rd of March. So with this said, thank you so much for joining. Sean, I don't know if you have any closing remarks, even as we conclude.
No, just thank you everyone for attending. I hope I've answered your questions, and again, thanks to Bongo Hive for arranging this.
All right. Thank you, Sean, and thank you to the Bongo Hive team that were part of this call. And for any other questions, feel free to reach out to us at entrepreneurship@bongohive.co.zm, and we'll be sure to address any other questions that you might have, even as we approach the application deadline. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.